Okay, so I just watched my last video in order to think about what to talk about. It sucked and it made very little sense, and I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about now because that didn't help me at all. So anyway, I'm going to be making another video about this transition thing, which is stupid, and I'm gonna do it for my own benefit and anybody else who's on to... I have a few updates that I'm going to skip around in my head to get to. One of which is my dosage increased double, so now I am taking 1 milliliter, like most people who are on testosterone. And my friends were already at that, but I was not. And I think the reason that, comparatively, my mood and my emotions and my general mental state have been progressing so smoothly is partially due to having started on a lower dosage and also possibly my ridiculously inhuman control over myself. One thing that is infuriating the hell out of me, but I already knew was going to happen, and that is my goddamn acne. Yeah. Holy hell. Late middle school and throughout high school, when my hormones were crazy because they were adapting to the changes of my body and mind, I usually had like 1 to 2 zits on my face at almost all times. I would be lucky if I had a clear face, but it was 1 to 2, and that was it. Now, holy hell, hello acne, hello world of acne. For everyone who has acne, I'm sorry. And for everyone who has acne that's worse than what I have right now, I'm especially sorry, because I'm starting to understand the struggle that it is to have acne. And it blows, and I hate it, and all I can do is rip my face apart all the time. It's not good for me, but I need to do it, because I'd rather have a bloody scab on my face than a gigantic festering pussy zit. Similarly, I've never had the really big white heads that are like, bubbling over with a swollen interior and pussy excrement. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying right now. I never had that before. They were always like the little ones, the little tiny zits with the little bits inside, and these are like mountainous comparatively. And they're not just on my face, they're on my shoulders and my back too, which is lovely because I can't freaking pop those. I really just hate it. Nice acne, ripping my face up. Actually, I cut my face. But anyway. Oh yeah. Oh, ooh yeah. So good. I don't know if I have any right now, because I have... Oh, okay, so I thought ahead. Okay, I didn't think ahead, but I thought in the middle, and I decided to get one of those back scrubby brushes. I work with a lot of grease and oil, and it's disgusting on my hands. I try really hard to get that shit off with like dish soap and lava soap, which has pumice in it, which is basically sand that you rub on your hands and get all that crap off with. But anyway, I get into the shower and then I'm like, gotta wash my face, yes, good. And I'm using my hands to do that, so that's pretty dumb if you think about it. There's a lot of grease and oil on my hands still. Try to get it all off, but I just can't, so I decided to get one of those face scrubby things too. The areas that I seem to notice the most acne, I have my back scrubby thingy and my face scrubby thingy. I don't know the better name for that, so you'll just have to deal with that. I'm going to talk a little bit about Lane. So Lane is super proud of his like lower chin facial hair. Lower chin, jaw, neck, facial hair, and I have just been shaving because I didn't want to put up with the in-between process of facial hair. Then I am getting lazy now. And so, for the record, when I first started growing little bits of facial hair, it started up here. And it was like, here, have 3 hairs on each side of your lip. And I was like, that's really dumb, so I didn't let that grow in. And I just kept shaving it off, and I continue to shave it off because I just don't want to deal with that, like, middle school preteen mustache thingy that's not really fully grown in. It looks like little fuzzy hairs, but I don't know. Anyway, not fuzzy hairs, that sounds dumb. And then I started to get some down here, which is like, okay, lower chin hairs, good, yes. But I shave them off too because they're not very thick. On the weekends, sometimes I'm really lazy and I don't shave, so it grows in, like, here. This is so boring. I'm so bored by myself. God. So anyway, I have like this going on. You can't really see it. If I get too close, you'll see all of my acne. Yeah, you'll see all of my acne. But anyway, You can't. Whatever. It's there. I asked my dad where he first started growing facial hair. For a referential point. Referential is not a word, but for a reference. And he said that he started growing it on his upper lip, which is not unsimilar to me. I am getting so tired of these goddamn drain flies everywhere. They're not fruit flies. They're not going to the jar of honey I set out for them with the little funnel paper cup thingy. Jerks. Yeah, so obviously my voice is continuing to drop, and I'm enjoying that. I haven't been getting as sick as often, but I did get sick for a while, and I think that might be in part due to the weather, which has been going back and forth between, like, this shitty cold spring and just straight up winter, with the snow versus the rain, and the cold versus the contentedly warm at, like, I think 68 or 74 was our highest. That really blows, and right now it's doing that cold, rainy, but kind of not too cold junk. But I could have possibly been getting sick from that, or I could have been getting sick because I had been seeing a physical therapist about my leg problem thingy. We'd been pushing the lymphatic swelling back up into my body, which is filtering through my lymphatic system, which has a little to do with the circulatory system. The circulatory system has something to do with the immune system. So all of that kind of ties together. I think a little bit of that has to do with me getting sick. My voice, post getting sick, has stayed like this, lower. And, that's nice. I don't know what to talk about. I did my hair. Yeah, look at that, I did my hair. Yeah, oh yeah, that's another stark contrast to my last video. I'm not gonna go into depth because this is more personal than it has anything to do with trans anything. Yeah, I'll probably go into depth in, like, a different video where I want to specifically talk about this, because I do. But not really here. So anyway, back in the day, back in high school, I used to be an emo kid. And after that, I went toward dressing more like a goth kid. And then after that, junior, senior year, I started doing this, like, weird wannabe sci-fi geek thing. I don't know what the style would be. It's like solid colors, plain t-shirts with long sleeve shirts underneath, but they were tighter and, like, very vibrant colors, and jeans that were rolled up to my knees with baseball socks with the stripes. They were always colored, and skater shoes. So I don't know. Oh yeah, and I wore binoculars around my neck every damn day, and I had jars filled with unique things that I labeled in my rolly backpack, which was way too small for all of my books. Anyway, so I don't know what that was, but it was fun, and I felt like a cartoon character. And all of these, well, mostly that last one, were like phases for me to try to accept who I am, because who I was trying to fit into a person that I was not, and I am obviously now, and so I'm feeling more comfortable at this point wearing what I like to wear, and I cannot even put into words how happy that makes me. In addition, I'm starting to bring back some of my older music that I used to listen to in high school, like freshman and sophomore, junior year, and so a few of those artists include Avenged Sevenfold, Marilyn Manson, System of a Down, Mindless Self-Indulgence, Breaking Benjamin. What else? Oh yeah, Rise Against. I was listening to Rise Against a lot. So I'm back listening to some of that stuff, which is really nice, because I stopped listening to it so that I could force myself to acclimate to the norm of the general public. So basically, I changed myself to put on a front in order for everybody else to see me as more appealing and more fitting in and all of that junk. It got me a job, and it kept me with a job until I could buy a car, and then it got me a better job, and then it got me better pay so that I could afford a nicer place. All in all, it has been absolutely worthwhile, and now that everybody at my workplace sees my personality and, like, well, my work personality. They realize that I'm not there to, like, dick around or make problems. I can finally start feeling more comfortable as myself. Which is like, why did it take so long? But also, whatever. It took as long as it had to. Kind of sucks. But it's really exciting to be able to go back to black hair and stuff. Because I miss it a lot. And black clothes. Which is just weird because, okay, now that I am, like, how much older? I don't know. I'm older to a point. And from back then, I think I was, like, 14 through 18. So about 4 years. I wore a lot of black, and that was 14 through 18 years old. So obviously I've grown a lot since then. Then I adapted a couple different wardrobes. Now I don't fit into any of that other stuff, not to mention it is not something I would want to wear anymore. I need to get new clothes, is what I'm saying. So all of my basic, generic jeans and small, simple V-neck shirts I will keep wearing at work, and I will have a more interesting wardrobe outside of work, which was the next step on my whole list of acclimating to society's expectations of normal, then being back to myself. So here I am, coming back. Yeah. Not to say that I'll never wear things other than black, just that I like black a lot. I don't have any progress on my leg problem. I'm not going to go into depth about that, because it's depressing as hell. Cats. No, trans problems. Not trans problems, trans things. I'm not going to talk about politics at all. That is something I will not touch. Oh yes, muscle development has definitely increased. I don't really need to go into depth with that. I mean, I could. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do this. I'm totally going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do this. But I don't want to because I'm shy. But I'm going to do this anyway. Hello, world. I know I'm half naked. You don't need to judge me for that. Wow, that was a huge pain in the butt. These cuffs are really little. Okay, so. Yeah. Here's my arm. Yeah, this is a really stupid angle where I'm, like, breaking my body in order to lean out of the picture. Yeah, so anyway. Whatever. Yeah, so muscle development is very nice. I actually haven't, like, been working out or anything lately. Because my friend that I'd been going to the gym with has a part-time job now, and we basically rarely see each other. So I haven't been going to the gym, and then I got my coworker who's hounding my ass to go to the gym with him all for the fucking time, and now I just, like, I am more focused on paying hospital bills. So it'll be a while, but I'll go back to the gym eventually. My eyebrows are little because I cosplayed Noise at Anime Milwaukee. I'm starting to get an Adam's apple. Check that out. I don't know if you can even see that. It's so not noticeable. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about any other notable changes because that's a little awkward and personal. I'll just do this. And maybe, like, future me will know what that means. Probably. Considering I don't just forget shit like that. Oh yeah, I'm hairier. I'm a little bit hairier. Not much. But I have some stomach hair that I did not... Well, I mean, I had stomach hair before, but it was, like, really light. And now it's, like, darker, but not really. It's not dark. This is hardly different. What is this doing way up here? Okay, also, my interests haven't, like, changed or anything. Gasp! This is really interesting, because I remember, like, a year ago, more than a year ago, my whole life, basically, I could just, like, notice that, and I'm not saying this is all guys, but from my perspective, it seemed like a guy could just sit in a room and not really talk or do anything and be, like, content doing nothing. And that baffled me because I always felt like I needed to be either talking or thinking about something and look like I'm thinking about something, not just, like, sit there contentedly. Or, like, I don't know, doing something, like, productive. But now I'm okay with just sitting around It's so weird and so unlike me. But it's a good thing because it always bothered me that I was so, like, anxious about sitting around if somebody else was nearby. Like, you're not allowed to just sit around, you have to be talking all the damn time. Or something. I don't know. That's the short version. Oh yeah, and being as picky, I'm not. I'm not as goddamn picky anymore. I don't know. It's not like it's really been that long. It's not like I've gone through that many changes. It could just be that I am content with a lot of different things in life, and that's part of it. Family things. Most people in my dad's side of the family are calling me the right pronouns, but recently they have kind of slacked on it a little bit, and I only mean one person particularly, but it was a recent thing. And it was somebody that I really, really was proud of for breaking stereotypes, considering he is a very old man, and he also is a veteran, and those two stereotypes generally imply that somebody will not be willing to accept a trans person. But he proved that wrong, and he acclimated very well, very, very well to my name, and once he found out about my pronouns, he didn't slip up once. Okay, he did once, but he corrected himself right away when he introduced me to somebody. So that was cool. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing because he slipped up once, but it was cool because you don't expect that from somebody in those two stereotypes. But he did kind of mess up the whole night when I was over at his place for our belated St. Patrick's Day dinner. So did his girlfriend. So that made for an extremely uncomfortable night. I think it definitely gets harder. It doesn't get harder, it's the same. But it almost seems like it's harder to accept when people screw up when I'm on testosterone, because I've gotten this far, I've done everything that I had to do to get here, and I'm progressing, and like, it's not like the way that I look. I know it's not like, boom, I'm obviously a guy. It's more like, is that a guy? Is that a guy? Like, that's what it is when people see me. And not only are they like that, but they're also like, the kid's probably like 16, right? Is that a guy? So that's what I expect. And I'm aware of that now. I mean, I always looked really young, so it's not like anything new, but it does suck that it still happens, because at this point I'm like, yeah, I feel like I passed more. And then this kind of thing happens, and I'm like, do I though? But that's just how it's going to be for a long time. And I know that there are people who are non-binary who are okay with being non-binary, like, or people not really being sure, or people saying variants of genders. I don't know. There are, but I am not one of those people. That is also not to say that all non-binary people feel that way. I particularly do not feel comfortable being labeled anything other than male, considering who I am, and, so that's awkward. I don't know if this is because of my age, because I am 24, but my freaking forehead wrinkles, when I do this, and then I don't do it anymore, I stop, they stay there. They are starting to stay there. And, that sucks so much because I do so many expressions all the time. I'm gonna have such nasty wrinkles on my face when I'm older. I'm gonna be like the wrinkliest person that I'll ever see. But expressions are so much fun. I don't know if this is also because I'm 24 now, but I feel like... Okay, so I never really had much of a defined chin. It was like this. Okay, I'm just kidding. It was not like that, but it was not very defined. And I feel like now it is just a little bit more defined. Not much, but maybe a little bit. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell because if I'm seeing myself, I'm usually looking at myself, which means I'm not at an angle. So I'll just sort of like do this. I don't know. I'll check that later. Something to do with that is that I actually intentionally stick my lower jaw out to make myself look a little more masculine. You see me do it in pictures all the time, especially as Aqueous. I don't know if I already talked about this, but it helps because it is more feminine to have an overbite. Is it an overbite with the teeth on top? I don't know. Yes. It's an overbite. Like a more defined jaw, more like a more square jaw is more masculine, so I don't know. It's really subtle, but it really helps, I feel, in pictures. Okay, that was weird. I don't think I have anything else to talk about, or I'm gonna start rambling about stuff that does not pertain to this trans stuff. Oh yeah, okay, so hysterectomy is another thing that I have to start considering too, which is really frickin' weird, considering I have not had good experiences with hospitals thus far, except for the fact that they did save my life from having appendicitis and dying. So there's that. But a hysterectomy is something I have to consider. And the reason is because the ovaries are continuously producing estrogen until menopause. And then it like drastically drops or something like that. I didn't ever study that. I'm sorry. Anybody who knows better, tell me in comments. And so, if you remove the ovaries and the cervix and all of that stuff, then your body will no longer be producing estrogen, which means that you need less testosterone in order to acclimate to this transition. And that's good. The only problem is a hysterectomy is also very expensive, and so is everything in the freaking world. So it's something for me to start thinking about. I wish I could tell you how many months I've been on testosterone. If Lane were here, he would know. I'm gonna say 7. I have no idea. I think it was August, maybe September. That's like 6 to 7 months. Anyway, I have no idea. So I did this to my hair, and I think it's pretty cool. It looks like I just dyed the tips, but it's actually like half and half. So if I ever want to do something like this, I can. Because, you know, who wouldn't want this hairstyle? Whatever. Yeah, well, that was dumb and messed my hair up, like, pretty damn bad. I had it the way that I wanted it, and now it is not that way anymore. So, I think that I'm going to conclude this video, considering I don't have anything else to talk about. Until next time.